Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never practice nunchucks in a crowded room. Never eat chole before a road trip. Always take your shirt off before you iron it. Don't take a call near a swimming pool. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
There is a lot of excitement still in our relations with North America. North America in this case is Canada and the US. However, while the two stories or the two issues are rooted in the same place like this, they are both moving in different directions. Now, American direction is moving slowly, that we've been keeping track on. We just sent a high-level delegation to Washington to exchange notes. In Canada, on the other hand, things have got really fouled up with the tit-for-tat removal of top diplomats on either side. Now, the important thing is the former Canadian High Commissioner to Delhi, who wasn't expelled from India, who had left already but hadn't been replaced yet, he spoke out in interviews to Indian media and to Canadian media as well. Now, if you say tit for tat, then I would say tit for tat raised to the power 3. That is what India's incoming High Commissioner to India, incoming as into India, but one who the Canadians made go or who India withdrew, Sanjay Kumar Verma, he's spoken out with incredible amount of candor, a lot of candor. Now, a lot of what he's saying you will see in the stories, but the important thing he's saying is that the Canadian system, the deep state, many of the political figures, they're all anti-India and involved with the radical groups there. He also says that in many cases, this has become a business, that students who go in there, they go in with the intention of not coming back. So they are encouraged or they are advised to go to the Indian High Commissioner consulates, shout anti-India slogans, desecrate the Indian flag, do other such things so that they can then go back and say, look, I've done all this, pictures have been taken, they make sure the pictures and videos are taken, all of this has been done, so I cannot go back to India, my life will not be safe. That's the reason I need asylum, and that's what is used. So this is also an asylum racket that runs. So he's talked out in great detail. Now, while we look at all of that, and these arguments will go on, you will read the stories. So first of all, he's talking on a very wide plane because he's also seen this firsthand sitting in Ottawa. What we can do at the same time is to look at some individual issues which point to the same issue. The same issue that the Canadian establishment, the Canadian authorities are much too forgiving of those who might be involved in not very good stuff in Punjab, in India. So they either are forgiving or they are complicit. That is something we don't know, that we'll know in the course of time. So the person or the individual case that comes up now is the case of a man called Sandip Singh Sidhu. Sandip Singh Sidhu, see the picture in my hand. You also see this on your screens. This is from the NIA's National Investigation Agency's wanted list. NIA, as you know, is the premier Indian agency that does terrorism investigation. So all terror crimes in India or multi-state crimes of this type, terror type, come to NIA. NIA was set up after 26/11 attacks. Also, NIA Act was passed then. Now, NIA has him on their wanted list. But where is he now? He's currently serving in the Canadian Border Services Agency, CBSA, right? Not just is he serving there, but as this notice from NIA tells us, he's just been promoted as well. So it says Sandip Singh Sidhu, resident of such and such place in Abbotsford, British Columbia. And it says Sandip Singh Sidhu alias Sunny has emerged as a significant entity involved in promoting terrorist activities in Punjab. He was in touch with Pakistan-based Lakshyaraj Singh Rode. Lakshyaraj Singh Rode is a nephew of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. He lives in Pakistan. He's lived in Pakistan for a long time. He's been in touch with Pakistan-based Lakshyaraj Singh Rode and other ISI operatives, officials, and successfully executed a targeted killing in October 2020 of Comrade Balwinder Singh. So I had also recorded an episode of Cut the Clutter. In fact, it was on a Sunday or maybe a Saturday. I had done it from home on the day Comrade Balwinder Singh Sandhu was assassinated by this group of Sikh radicals or separatists or whatever. We don't like to use the expression Khalistani or Khalistan. In fact, this is the only time I'm using that expression, just to tell you that we don't use it at the print, because I've always said, I've also written that no such phenomenon exists in our Punjab, right? Nobody wants it, so why paint the devil on the wall? That's just a philosophical point. So these terrorists assassinated Comrade Balwinder Singh Sandhu and try to also target his family. Now, he and his family have, it's a unique case in India. The same family has 4 Shaurya Chakra winners. And those Shaurya Chakras were awarded to them in early 90s for fighting terrorists. That was probably the worst phase of terrorism in Punjab. I will tell you that longer story as we go along. In fact, I will draw generously from some of the stuff I have spoken or written in the past, some in the recent past, as part of my writings on the wall from Punjab during Lok Sabha elections, when I visited Comrade Balwinder Singh Sandhu's family, met his wife and his kid, and also from the Cut the Clutter from October 2020, 4 years ago. So it's possible that if you've been a regular CTC watcher, you might find some of this familiar. However, it's very important that we bring it back to life once again, because this is a terrible crime that happened in India, and it looks like some of the key accomplices in this crime have found safety and refuge. In this case, probably in Canada. Now, an NIA notice, I go on, that we worked with all these people, Lakshyaraj Singh Mewar and other ISI operatives and officials, and successfully executed a targeted killing in October 2020 of Comrade Balwinder Singh Sandhu in Punjab with the help of a noted gangster. Once again, gangsters. With a noted gangster, Sukhmeet Pal Singh, alias also known as Sukh Bhikhariwal, the individual and employee of Canada Border Service Agency and recently promoted to the rank of a superintendent. So he's just got a promotion. In fact, we wrote to the Canadian Border Services Agency. Bismi Taskin, who's one of our reporters, wrote to them and they replied to her saying, yes, we know about him. We've also seen articles about him, but our filtering process is very good. We have checked out everything and we check out these people's background, and obviously meaning thereby that they don't take these allegations seriously. Again, the NIA notice says that he's actively associated with pro-Khalistan. Once again, they are saying, using the word, terrorists, including Lakshyaraj Singh Mewar, USA-based Gurjot Kaur, highly radicalized, again pro-Khalistan operative, claims herself as widow of Pakistan-based KLF, Khalistan Liberation Front chief, obviously killed subsequently, Harneet Singh, alias Happy, now deceased, and also with Pakistan ISI officers. That is the NIA notice. Now, what's happened with this man? I told you that he's now in this agency, and Canadians can't say that they don't know about it because he's on NIA's wanted list, and NIA and the Canadian agencies have been working close together. India and Canada are both co-signatories with each other of something called MLAT, which is Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty. So when a country has criminal charges against somebody and that person may be in another country, so agency notifies its counterpart. That's been done by the NIA multiple times, but they've got no response from the Canadian side. Once again, read this along with what the returning Indian envoy from Canada is saying. Sandeep Singh Sidhu, now 43 years old. He is also allegedly a member of ISYF, or International Sikh Youth Federation, which is banned as a terrorist organization in India, the US, Japan, Australia, and lo and behold, in Canada as well. Now, having told you this connection, let me take you back to the story. And this is where I'm also drawing from an earlier episode of Writings on the Wall, and also Cut the Clutter from about 4 years ago. So 4 decades ago, we knew Bhikivind as a small border village near Khemkaran, where the most storied tank battle, Asal Uttar village, of the 1965 war took place. It was also among the most affected by militancy in the early 90s. This is the region where terror groups did not defy the government. They were the government by 1990. the bloodiest year in Punjab insurgency, taking a toll of 570 civilian lives, which is the data point I get from South Asia Terrorism Portal. The village has grown into a small town now with private hospitals, a couple of pizza and burger shops, one even called Canada Burger, what do you expect? And large schools. One has so many ACs, one school, jetting out of its classroom windows that you would confuse it with a 2-star hotel of the kind you find close to airports in medium-sized cities. A more modest one, Evergreen Senior Secondary School. This is where the co-founder, Comrade Balwinder Singh Sandhu, was assassinated allegedly by hitmen of the so-called Khalistan Commando Force on 16th of October 2020. The NIA subsequently busted the module and 8 alleged killers and conspirators are now facing trial. Jagdish Kaur, that's the widow. Jagdish Kaur is struggling to keep the school going. Nobody wants to send children to a state board school when CBSA ones are available. Plus, she's got no AC classrooms. Going back to 1990, besides the 5,070 civilians, the Punjab police lost 452 lives. That's more than any Indian uniformed force has lost in any year in internal security anywhere, maybe in the last 70 years. New Delhi had India's weakest government ever, and as VP Singh waffled then, the police found some innovations. One of these enabled the rise of incredibly courageous people like Balwinder Singh Sandhu and wife Jagdish Kaur, both members of the CPM, Communist Party of India Marxist, had comrades prefixed to their names. One of the least acknowledged stories of that era is the fight comrades put up on the ground. The police armed them and mostly left them to their fate. More than 200 comrades died fighting. More of that I might tell you at some point later. However, do remember that after the Canadian allegations against India and after the Trudeau meltdown, one Indian political party which came out very strongly against Canada and Canada's support to Indian radicals, Indian separatists and Indian terrorists was the CPM. In fact, if you haven't followed the history of the CPM in Punjab, you would have been surprised. But if you have followed that history, you wouldn't be surprised because even Comrade Balwinder Singh Sandhu, his wife, his family, 4 Shaurya Chakras between them were all members of the CPM. For now, let's go back to the story of December 1990, when along with photographer Prashant Panjiyar, we reported a cover story for India Today, traveling through Punjab in what the headline then aptly described as rule of the gun. See the cover pictures. The armed couple on the tractor are the comrades Balwinder and Jagdish. The little boy is son Gagandeep. The family was targeted by militants almost on a daily basis and fought off 42 attacks, 2 of them launched with rocket launchers. The entrance to that unpaved street then was guarded by another comrade, Major Singh, who too was targeted. An assassination on him was attempted through a milkman carrying a bomb in his milk bucket. The bomb went off prematurely, killing the milkman. We witnessed and reported the couple with pictures of how the entire family, including toddler Gagandeep, was part of the fight. He was already adept at refilling the carbine magazines with his little fingers as firefights went on for hours often. That war was won by the good side by 1994 and Punjab has enjoyed total peace since then. But the enemy has a long memory. That's why Balwinder and his wife always remained marked targets. Now, when we met Jagdish Kaur just this June, she talked about the past and the present with an equanimity you only get from decades of struggle. Her husband, she said, used to receive threats. The latest just about 10 days before he was assassinated. He emailed a complaint to the police headquarters and even got an acknowledgement. But nobody probably suspected the killers were so close. Even now, she says the family has been given a police gunman, but all he's armed with is an ancient carbine. And there is always the fear that even if he dropped it accidentally, it will fire off a few rounds, hitting just anybody. The request that he be given an AK-47 is not being granted. The surviving comrade talks us around the school, showing bullet marks on the walls where Balwinder was shot. Police CCTV cameras, main and backup track every move. See the pictures that we've got from the place. Gagandeep, now well into his 30s, that's the son who used to fill the magazines at that point, Carbine magazines, joins in the walk around with his wife. For Jagdish, one regret besides lack of security and the lack of any government grant or support after fellow Shaurya Chakra awardee Balwinder's assassination is the decline of the left in the state, especially her CPM in the post Harkrishan Singh Surjit era. She lives in a zone where the greatest challenge to India's unity was fought between 1981 and 1994. She was on the front line. The zone isn't anywhere near returning to that mayhem now. The older generation that survived it still has enough nightmares not to ever return to it. To understand what had happened in this case, I have to take you back 30 years, a little over 30 years now. I take you back to 1993, and this happened. Please read the Shaurya Chakra citation, which also I am sharing with you on the screen and also as a link. It tells you that in 11 months, there were 16 efforts on the lives of this family in the village of Bhikivind. Of these, the biggest one was on September 30, 1990. That's why I said I take you back 31 years. September 30, 1990, when this citation tells you militants, terrorists, insurgents, whatever you call them, in a strength of about 200 attacked their house. Now, they had been under attack for a long time, so their house, they had sort of fortified their house. Their entire family knew how to defend itself. They had a light machine gun also mounted on the top of the house. Government had given them these weapons. Government had also posted some special police officers in their adjoining house. But they used to run away the moment their house, this Sandhu house, got attacked by terrorists. And I will tell you also what the picture was at that point as an eyewitness. So they beat back that attack by nearly 200 people. So we traveled across those districts, the troubled districts of Punjab at that time, which militants used to claim were liberated districts. They were not liberated in that sense, but as we recorded in that story in 1990, and I am sharing that link from India Today with you, in that story, what we recorded is that terrorists it is who collected taxes even from government officers then. They went to government officers' offices, checked out their files to see if they were doing their work in Punjabi or not. They had banned Hindi movies. They had even banned Hindi film music. In fact, even Chitrahar had to carry Gurmukhi Punjabi subtitles. It might look ridiculous now, but that's how it was done. So many of the things that you might have seen having happened in Kashmir subsequently had already taken place in Punjab, frankly at a much larger scale. So it looked like the drama was being enacted from the same playbook. So 1990-91 was the peak of Punjab terrorism. It was not the year in which Operation Blue Star took place. That was much earlier. That was 1984. Blue Star, Bhindranwale's death, Indira Gandhi's assassination, and the anti-Sikh killings. This was much after that. That was a bad year also in terms of sheer numbers of people killed. In fact, the number I had given you, 5,070 civilians and 452 policemen killed, that was more than all of the killings in 11 years of terrorism and militancy in Punjab between 1990 and 1991. And all of this happened in just a 12-month period. Now, these zones, it was claimed, existed in a region of Punjab called Majha. Now, Majha is generally the districts of Punjab west of the Beas River, and you can see it on the map west of the river, and then abutting Pakistan, and further as you go south, you come to Malwa, which is Firozpur, etc., which also borders Pakistan. So Majha districts were the worst affected, and in fact, the militants used to say, "Din aapka hai, raat hamari hai." So the police, the government authorities could still venture out in the villages or on the roads in daytime, but at night, terrorists were in charge. In fact, even on that visit in Punjab that Prashant and I went to for that cover story, there were many occasions at night when we came to a checkpoint on the road or a picket and you got down and you figured that you were not being stopped by the police. These were checkpoints run not by the police but by militants who were called popularly as khadkus or fighters. They wanted their tax and who at least wanted to find out who you were. But I can also tell you that at that point at least, until then, there was honor among thieves. They did not harm journalists. They let you go once they figured out who you were, unless you were a targeted journalist. They killed more than 100 journalists in Punjab at that point of time, including the founder of Punjab Kesari and his successor, his son, its reporters, many of its editors, including newspaper hawker. It is then that we were told about Balwinder Singh Sandhu's family, and one very early morning we started from Amritsar and reached the village and met the family. The terrorists in that phase didn't just kill the Hindus, they killed a lot of Sikhs. Ultimately, they ended up killing more Sikhs. I told you they killed a lot of CPM people, the comrades. They also killed many RSS and BJP people, basically any political force that stood up to them. Congress, of course, was a big target. They killed Sardar Balwant Singh, a titan of Akali politics, a kind of perpetual finance minister of Punjab and a deal maker. They tried to kill Gurcharan Singh Tora, who was then the chief of the Shiromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee, SGPC, and a very formidable figure in Sikh politics. His driver in the attack, Tora's driver, a guard and a colleague were killed. He survived. And that was an attack near Patiala, not far from Chandigarh. So they attacked everybody from any side that wasn't in cahoots with them. Now, Congress people, of course, we know about Indira Gandhi, we know about Lalit Makan in Delhi, but they also killed somebody as non-controversial as Professor B.N. Tiwari, the distinguished professor of Punjabi studies, Punjabi literary studies at Punjab University, my university, and the father of the Congress leader and member of parliament, Manish Tiwari. What was his fault? He was trying to bring about some peace in Punjab. I told you earlier about Major Singh and how he was attacked through a milkman who was carrying a bomb in his milk can. So here the story from him. As the milkman reached the house, Major Singh told us, as published in that story, the bomb blew up because this was not very well rigged. The terrorist himself was blown to pieces. And these people were so courageous that we asked Major Singh, "Ki hoya?" When we asked Major Singh, "Ki hoya?" So what happened? He said, "Pata nahi lagya ji. Pehla hi bomb phat gaya. Ode spare parts bhi nahi mile." That means terrorist was blown to bits, not even pieces of his body were found. Uske spare parts bhi nahi mile. So it was families like these, and they fought, and the government relied on them. In fact, the family also told us then, it's in our published story, that when they told the police that, look, you got these special police officers in the house, they run away when terrorists come. They are also in our street. They also run away when the militants come. In fact, the militants tell them they are coming so that they can run away in good time, get out of the harm's way. So the police said, look, we can do nothing. Either you shift to our police station and we'll try to protect you there. We can't protect you in your house. Second, if you think these special police officers run away, then simple. We'll put a lock on the house and give you the keys. That means you can lock them up so they don't run away. So when militants are coming, you go out, lock them from outside. In case, I know some of you might wonder if it's a real story. It's actually a published story in 1990. The man who's been killed, who was killed by these militants now, these terrorists now, on 15th of October 2020, Balwinder Singh Sandhu was on their hit list because he and his family had dared to defy them at the worst of times in Punjab. What terrorists have shown India is that they have a long memory. So state in the course of time, the police, the state, the government, in the course of time, tends to forget people who fought for the country. Out of sight, out of mind. But the bad guys have a very long memory. So they came back that 15th October 2020 and got their victim, who they could not kill at the peak of insurgency in 1990. This person, Sandip Singh Sidhu, is allegedly a part of the same group and allegedly played a role in transferring money to the gang or the gangster, that is Sukh Bhikhariwal, that's his alias, otherwise known as Sukhmeet Pal Singh, to hire these killers to carry out this hit job. This is the man who's now working in the Canadian Border Services Agency and has just been promoted as a superintendent. So there is an issue on the Canadian side. Now, if you see the NIA charge sheet, of which also I will share a link with you, they put that charge sheet in a Supreme Court filing, which was in response to a bail application by one of the suspects who they have caught. They mention a suspect often enough for transferring money called sunny Toronto. Now, as you know, in Punjab, you very often use your place of residence or where you grew up or where you come from, like your second name. So sunny Toronto, the suspicion is, although there is no surety as yet, the suspicion is that sunny Toronto is none else but Sandeep Singh Sidhu. However, we can't say that for sure. Even the NIA is not saying that for sure. The only thing NIA is doing is they say that he's a man wanted in connection with the same assassination. He's in Canada. This is where he lives, and this is where he works, and this is what his current designation is, to which he just got promoted.